On January 14th, 2016, Mark Steele was waiting for a train on the metro when a man collapsed in front of him. Mark immediately rushed to the man's aid and quickly determined that he wasn't breathing. He called 999, which is England's version of our 911, and he followed instructions from the operator. Mark performed CPR on the man until he revived, just minutes before the paramedics arrived. And Mark was applauded as a hero. Surely he would have been dead if he wasn't there. But Mark wasn't patting himself on the back. Instead, he found himself thankful for the second chance that he was given 5 years ago when he overdosed on heroin. And he was humbled by the fact that because his life was saved, he was able to save another person's. According to the National Institute of Drug Abuse, in 2014, over 14,000 Americans died from heroin overdose. Obviously, you can see this is a huge surge. That same year, even more, 18,000 Americans died from prescription opiates. So what can we do to help curb this number and give thousands of people access to a second chance? There's a drug on the market called naloxone, or Narcan, and it's dubbed the anti-overdose drug. It's been available and used by paramedics, firefighters, and police to save the lives of those in the midst of an overdose for years. More recently, according to a press release from CVS Pharmacies, Narcan has become available over the counter in 12 states so that families and friends of addicts can be prepared if the worst happens on their watch. I believe that Michigan should be the next on that list and the next state to embrace the same availability. Now, there's some debate about having Narcan readily available. Some opponents claim that once addicts know that they have this safety net, that they're going to start using more or more indiscriminately. But addicts don't think that way. Here's a fact. Narcan removes the opiates from your brain. So when you're saved by it, you're often subjected to immediate withdrawal symptoms. As an addict, your main concern is getting high. The last thing you want is for that high to be interrupted violently or to wake up surrounded by paramedics or doctors. Several studies have also shown that opiate abuse doesn't increase along with the increase in Narcan. Others will question what the ramifications of this drug is if it's overused or used improperly. But here's another fact. If Narcan is administered to somebody who's not overdosing from an opiate, it doesn't do anything. This is a safe drug, and it has been and will continue to be used to save lives. Now, is this to say that all of those saved by an overdose with Narcan will get the help that they need right away? As the nature of addiction goes, the likelihood of that may be low, but it's not impossible. A very good friend of mine was an addict for more than 10 years, and we'd all just about given up on him. It took a near-death experience before he finally made the changes in his life that was needed. I'm proud to say that my friend has been clean for 12 years now, and he has a beautiful family. He's thankful every day that he got a second lease on life. Unfortunately, I wish I could say the same about his younger brother. My friend Chris was one of the sweetest, kindest people I've ever known. He struggled with addiction for years, but he never stopped quitting. He wanted to get better, but unfortunately, addiction can sometimes be a terminal disease. He had a relapse during a very emotional time in his life and had an overdose in his father's house. I and Chris's family both wish that somebody would have had a drug like this in the medicine cabinet that night. Maybe that would have been the catalyst that kept him on track. If it was your friend, your son, your daughter, sister, or brother, wouldn't you want to give them that chance? Drug abuse in Michigan is now at an all-time high, not to mention the amount of accidental overdoses from prescription medication. We need to rally behind this proposal and make this accessible to anyone who might have a need for it. Mark Steele lived, and he paid it forward by saving someone else's life. If even one life is saved, isn't that enough to consider this an option? Thank you all for your time.